Hello, Nasdaq followers, and welcome to another edition of Nasdaq Spotlight. My name is Leanne Alfaro, and we're coming to you live from New York City at the Ping Identity Identify conference. Here we're hearing from enterprises which are talking about identity solutions as well as identity intelligence and managing identity in the multi-cloud platform environment. So to talk to us a little bit more about it right now is Brian Bell, who's CMO at Ping Identity. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. So when we talk about identity security, why do you believe that enterprises should be investing in this and investing in particular identity and access management solutions?
Yeah, it's really all about enabling the digital enterprise today, right? I mean, I think most enterprises today have some sort of digital enterprise, digital transformation strategy, and they recognize that those enterprises that are able to transform themselves digitally, deliver compelling digital user experiences, those are the ones that are going to win in the market. And identity and access management basically enables that, right? We live in a world where it's an application-centric world, it's a cloud-first, mobile-first world, and users, our users, the enterprise users, whether they're employees trying to get access to things, partners, contractors, customers, all want access to applications, and they want access to applications in a seamless way, in a frictionless way, so they can get what they need to do what they need to do in their interaction with those enterprises, and it needs to be secure. They're absolutely expecting it to be a securely managed interaction. So, you know, identity and access management enables enterprises to deliver these digital transformation sort of experiences in a secure and seamless way, and that's what this is all about.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And this is something that we've heard today time and time again. You know, identity and access management is all about not having people have to think about the process, but just be able to experience it in a secure
That's
manner.
right, yeah. I mean, the ideal world for any of us is, you know, we pick up our mobile phone and we want to get access to our airline portal and do whatever we need to do, make a transaction, check on a flight, and you just want that to be seamless. You don't want to have to log in, you just want it to know that who you are, but you expect it to be secure.
Right.
And we all expect that in our personal life and in our professional life when we're interacting with any enterprise.
So based on what we've heard today, it really excites me to see what the future of identity and access management looks like. What does it look like in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, this is a super dynamic market, right? Identity and access management, I think, is a market whose time has really come. It is being recognized increasingly as a category in of itself. You know, and you see that, we see that certainly, that sort of growth in the market, in part reflected in the size of budgets. We're finding enterprises are putting aside a larger part of their security budget towards identity and access management initiatives. We're finding that business owners, you know, the people responsible for delivering customer experiences, for owning the customer portal, for owning, you know, the supply chain partner portal, that they are allocating money to ensure that investment goes into identity and access management. So just today, it's a very dynamic market. You see that in the investment that we see from enterprises. You also just see that in the market in general. I mean, we're talking to Nasdaq here, and you see a lot of money going into growth companies that are leading the way in identity and access management. People investing in these companies. You see companies really for the first time a couple years ago going public that are identity and access management vendors. We expect that trend to absolutely continue. And you see acquisitions going on. It's just a very dynamic market. I think from a product perspective though, when you look at the future, where this is all going, it's sort of what we were talking about right before this, which is passwordless, you know, authentication, right? We kind of envision a world where users will, based on a whole bunch of data that we're able to sort of aggregate and to apply sort of analytics to, will use that information to improve that user experience. And you can imagine a world where, based on the context, the role, the geography, the behavior, past sort of interactions with applications, that we'll be able to streamline that user experience and move to a world where you'll automatically be authenticated, or if there's something that seems a little off, might trigger some other, you know, step-up form or multi-factor authentication, just to make sure that only the right users get access to the right applications in real time. That's sort of, you know, the vision that we have for the market.
Now, the way that this kind of future has been described seems very seamless. I wonder about access. Is that something that everyone will have access to? Will everyone have access to identity security?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, well, I'll tell you, I think it goes back to kind of what we talked about before. Enterprises need to invest in this technology, right? And consumers are going to expect it, right? They're expecting that experience they have maybe with their social media accounts is similar to when they interact with a retailer or when they interact with an airline or they interact with their bank, right? They want that seamless experience, but they're definitely not willing to give up security. And they expect that the enterprises delivering those services are making the right investments in security. So the burden, in many ways, does fall more and more on the enterprise because the consumers are going to expect it. And if there is a breach, and there are breaches often, consumers, we just did some research that we just published today, we're finding consumers will immediately turn against that brand, right? They don't give them a second chance.
Right.
If they're
much
invested
less forgiving.
they're much less forgiving. It's like, well, I expected it. I didn't ask you about it, but I expected you to deliver that quality of service and that secure experience, and you didn't deliver it to me, and now maybe my data is exposed, I'm going to move on to another brand. So the risk is high if you don't deliver that experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Ping identity in this space, which has become a household name for enterprises for its ease of use. I also see that the company has won a lot of industry awards, so congratulations. Tell us about the greatest value that Ping offers for its customers.
Yeah, great question. Well, we've been at this for some time. I think the biggest value, or the value that we bring, I think you can really break down in two ways. One is coverage, is what I call it, meaning breadth and sort of depth of support for the needs of the global enterprise, right? And that means supporting the standards that we're big champions for in the industry. It means supporting global and multi-cloud environments, right? We recognize that if you're a large enterprise, it's you might be cloud first and moving to the cloud, but you still have some mainframe applications. You still have applications maybe that are running in your own data centers, or that are moving to a private or public cloud, or moving to multiple public clouds. And you need to have an identity and access management system that provides that breadth of coverage across multi-cloud environments. So it's that coverage and richness of application is the one piece. The second piece is the agility, right? I think many of our customers say to us, they come to Ping because they're future-proofing themselves, right? They come to Ping because they know Ping is going to stay on top of standards, that they are investing in self-service, that they're investing in cloud first, ease of use, quick time to value and implementation. And it's that combination of both being broad in coverage and rich in coverage, as well as having really great agility. That's really, that's why the top banks use us, and that's why 3 of the 4 top retailers use us. That's why customers are coming to us. Yeah.
You're very well positioned to grow in the next few years, and we're really excited. Nasdaq's really excited to see where Ping goes next.
Thank you. That's great. Glad to have the opportunity to talk to you.
Thanks for joining us, Brian. Nasdaq followers, please stay tuned. We'll have more coverage coming to you live right here from the Ping Identity Identify Conference.